Tackle position has been a problem. Notre Dame comes up, strip sack. And then obviously, G.
Very next play.
Yeah, I like taking the shot right after a turnover. It's smart. It's what you're supposed to do. You got a one-on-one matchup. You hit it for the touchdown.
Riley Leonard to Bo Collins, and just like that, it's 13-3. But wait, there's more. This is the opening kickoff of the second half.
Green shoes, get down the sideline, and let's roll. This is a phenomenal play. And look, usually against teams like Georgia, you need all three phases. We do that weekly on SportsCenter. This is the third phase of the game coming to fruition for the Notre Dame Irish.
Jaden Harrison, 98 yards. So Notre Dame scores 17 points in 54 seconds of game time. It goes from 3-3 to 20-3. Now Georgia looking to fight back. Stockton, Cash Jones. We got a ball game here at 20-10. But late in the ball game, Georgia's offense just couldn't quite get there. 4th and 13, they're going for it. This is a moment that could have kept them in it. We're going to see a defensive pass interference. Marcus, was this a good call?
Yeah, it's a good call, G. You got to make some attempt to get your head back around to the football. And obviously, this is one of those things offenses can take advantage of.
It's called on Jack Kaiser. Marcus Freeman doesn't like it, but Georgia couldn't take advantage. Another 4th down play, and this time no call on the defense.
Yeah, no call. I'm good with the no call. I'm good with a little hand fighting. I don't think it was anything to impute. I think Seven failed more than he was PI'd on that play.
That's great defense from Notre Dame. They played it so well all day, and then they just bled the clock.
Yeah.
They took so much time off, including, take a look at Riley Leonard, up and over.
You got to love it, G. Legs were prevalent all game. None more important than this drive where you get third down after third down after third down. Bleed 5 minutes off the clock.
And that was all she wrote. By the time Georgia got it back, it was too late. Riley Leonard, Marcus Freeman, and Notre Dame are headed to the Final Four with a big win over Georgia.
Just like we talked about in pregame, man. You guys continue to weave this quilt to perfection. Like, it was like this, whatever, bam. But you guys kept choosing hard, man. You kept attacking, and you kept trusting, man. And that's how you get this result. Y'all got after that ass tonight.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Here come the Irish!
All right, so this was an enormous win. This is probably the biggest win that Notre Dame football has had in at least a generation. And Paul Feinbaum and Joey Galloway here to break it down with us. And Joey, let's start with this.
Look at Paul and Joey. Hey, guys.
Joey, we have all seen Notre Dame wind up in the college football playoff, wind up in big spots against the big SEC team and look overmatched. It feels like it's happened so many times over the last 15 years that part of me was just expecting it. I think I was just conditioned to expect it yesterday. That game looked so different on the line of scrimmage in so many different ways. What was your number one takeaway from what Notre Dame did to Georgia yesterday, Joey?
Notre Dame just continues to roll. I mean, early on in the season, they'd lose to Northern Illinois, and a lot of people wrote them off. And since then, the team you just saw play Georgia, that's who they've been. They've been a physical football team. They've had a quarterback in Riley Leonard that has a mentality of moving the sticks. It doesn't always make a big play. The mentality is, let's get a first down. And I think that changes things. It protects the ball, number one. It allows you to feel comfortable in third and medium distances because you feel like the more physical team. You're going to run the ball. You're okay with that. You have two great running backs. Hopefully Jeremiah Love is healthy. Got a little banged up in the game. But that mentality of Notre Dame has been since early in the season till now. They look like, to me, one of the more physical and best teams in college football.
I mean, that looked like a team, Marcus, that we could see. Look, they're going to go against Penn State here. That I'm not taking anything away from Penn State. They were a good team, but I don't know that this Notre Dame suddenly feels like unbelievably they could win this whole thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, the question has always been, and Joey hit the nail on the head, is the line of scrimmage. Can you compete? And we saw that yesterday, but more importantly, like Riley Leonard, I don't want it to go understated because you wait for this team all game long to hit a big play downfield. You say you got to be explosive to beat Georgia. They were like, no, we're gonna let our quarterback run in between the tackles on some design run plays. We're going to churn yards as opposed to hitting the explosive. And it's not like they didn't try, but this defense came up big. They were playing from a +2 in the turnover margin. So all you have to do is take care of the football, and when your opportunity presents itself, capitalize, and nothing better than that sack fumble in the following play, you end up with a touchdown. It was going to take that.
Let's talk about that. So, Paul, that's where the entire game turns. The decision that Kirby Smart makes to try and be aggressive, 39 sacks seconds with a young quarterback deep in his own territory right before halftime, and we see the disaster it turns into. What are the callers to your show, the Georgia callers, going to say about that decision today?
They will not be blaming Kirby Smart. They'll be blaming Mike Bobo, who is the offensive coordinator, Greeny. He came in and took over from Monken, who went to the NFL. And quite frankly, nobody is very happy with him. He's Kirby Smart's best friend. They were roommates. And many believe that Kirby Smart has looked past reality and simply respected and honored a friend who used to work for Mark Richt at Georgia and then moved on and failed as a head coach. It was just a terrible call in every respect, and I think Kirby Smart even admitted that at halftime. It's easy to say after the fact, but when you have a quarterback who is struggling, he's made some good plays, but you're not that confident in him, don't put the game in his hands when you're only 3 points behind, and everyone in America saw what happened after that mistake.
Joey, what did you think of it, that decision there to try and be aggressive, 39 seconds left? We all, again, to Paul's point, it's easy looking back on it now to say, oh, what a mistake it was. What do you think of the decision?
Hey, Greeny, you've done two things now. You asked Marcus Spears what he thought of pass interference call, and he's okay with hand fighting. That's a defensive lineman. Now you ask Paul, do we want to go for it? Hey, look, Greeny, absolutely yes, let's go. There's 39 seconds left. We're losing. As a mindset for an offense, at some point in time in this game, you're going to have to put the ball in Gunnar Stockton's hands to go down in the win. Spears just mentioned you're getting beat at the line of scrimmage. So if we can't run it, we have to pass it. And we're behind. And you get that feeling, as everyone did in that game, that Notre Dame was the more physical football team. And so with 39 seconds left and a half, I think everybody's thinking, see what you can do in the first play. And if you can get some yards on the first play, then we try to do this. If you can't, then you run out the clock. But I like being aggressive, obviously. In this situation, we're losing. Let's go.
Paul Feinbaum, you once wrote a book called My Conference is Better Than Your Conference. And at the time that you wrote it, it couldn't have been more true. We wake up in the morning here where Notre Dame just out-physicaled Georgia, where Alabama just got beat up by Michigan, where Tennessee got blown out by Ohio State in this playoff. What world did we wake up to this morning when it comes to what has been a long-standing dominance by the Southeastern Conference of college football?
By the way, that book is available for 3 cents right now on Amazon. Greeny, there is a lot of schadenfreude going on in this country, and that's okay because the SEC, the big names have taken some very, very big hits. Tennessee, obviously, Alabama in a lesser game, but Georgia was the team that everyone was wrapping their arms around. And isn't it remarkable that the lone SEC team was in the Big 12 a year ago in the college football playoff? It's going to be a bloody day if you're an SEC homer, if you wave the flag. I don't know what to expect this afternoon, but I have a feeling we'll have more Big Ten callers on our show than SEC callers.
Marcus, you and I were talking this morning as, we're just hanging out in makeup like a couple of guys will do.
Yeah, like we do.
And we were talking about how this is just part of a larger paradigm shift in college football. For the longest time, Nick Saban didn't just have the best linebacker in America. He had the 5 best linebackers in America. And now the guys who aren't playing are going to wind up in other places. And with the transfer portal and everything else, you're just not going to see that level of dominance anywhere, it would seem.
I don't think so either. I think it's a wrap on like 1 or 2 teams dominating college football. And I think it's a good thing, G. I'm going to tell you this, man. I know it was a lot of noise about the 12-team playoff and teams getting beat and getting blown out, but essentially it was really good bowl games. It was really good bowl games to see if some of these teams could advance. The other thing to your question, though, is if I'm a 5-star linebacker, I'm not going to Alabama and wait 2 years to play anymore.
Right.
I'm going to go to Notre Dame. I'm going to go to Oregon. I'll go to Texas. I'll go somewhere where that position is available, and I'm going to go make things happen. And to your point, man, we used to talk about, I know when I was covering college football and me and Joey would be on the road, we would talk about Alabama has first-round picks in waiting.
Right.
Like these dudes dudes ain't waiting no more. NIL is here. It's free agency technically when you talk about the transfer portal. So there is no longer this sense of we just going to develop players. We're going to keep them in the program 2-3 years before they play. Them dudes are done with that, and they get in the bag as soon as they leave high school if you are one of those upper echelon type players.
That's exactly right. So, Joey, and again, the 12-team playoff was awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
There'll be some little tweaks that perhaps they make along the way, and we'll talk later in this hour about what we suggest some of those to be. But, Joey, just a final word on this. Do we wake up this morning in a new era of parity in college football?
I don't think we woke up in it this morning. As Spears said, and as I've been saying, the NIL and the portal, we talk about it as if it's just quarterbacks and receivers. But the defensive line, the offensive line, that was where the SEC used to separate itself.
Yep.
They would roll in 8 offensive linemen. The first rounders were starters, and then the first rounders for the next year were the backups. So now those backups are now leaving. And you can see the biggest difference to me when you watch the SEC. The guys that are rolling in are no longer looking like Marcus Spears. They used to roll in 8 Marcus Spears. They don't have that any longer. Now they got 4 of them, and that's it. And the backups don't look like that.
Joey, stay where you are. Paul, stay where you are. Marcus, you come with me. We're going to do much more on this, and we'll have much more in the game as we go. But get Fortenbaugh in here. I'll get my betting expert, Joe Fortenbaugh, in. We'll have him all morning long as we do on Fridays.
I need you closer to the camera because it's going to make me look really small if I'm on the other side.
He's going to make